Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to one of a new kind of a video. आज हम लोग जाने वाले हैं X पे. X तो पता है ट्विटर पे, और हम लोग जाएंगे और एक कोड स्निपेट को देखेंगे और देखेंगे कि क्यों वो वर्क नहीं कर रहा है. विल ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट. विल गो थ्रू कमेंट्स एंड कहाँ पे कमेंट्स गलत कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं. सो लेट्स गेट इनटू इट. पॉज कर लें लड़े आप. Anyways, so as I was saying, like this is the account. This is the account. Her name is Reality, and you can simply call her at the rate maybe at the underscore Ria, simply Ria. So it doesn't matter. The thing is, the question she has posted, it is what is the output of this code snippet here. So she has a problem. She cannot understand why the output is like that, and what is the output and why is the output like that. So we'll simply go through the code. That is, you can clearly see there is a code snippet which is starting from the const keyword is being used to create a function. From here to here is a function. Okay, the function's name is parent. Okay, parent function, and which is having a parameter with a variable or a local variable for this and this entire function, that is n. And this function is an arrow function. This arrow function has been initialized to the variable parent. So this parent function is an arrow function. Okay, got it. Now inside the parent function we have two statements basically, or say three statements or four statements, or simply two types of statements. First one is we declare a num variable using the const keyword, and we assign it the local variable of this very arrow function, the parent function's arrow function. I know it's getting complicated, but you don't have to actually involve in all of that. This said, you should just wait for the when I type the code and what is the output, like explain you like how this code is actually working. It doesn't matter. So inside it there is another function. There is a function inside a function, and this function is an anonymous function. There is no name given to it. You can clearly see, right? So it says return function, and in this function the parameter of the function is num, and it is set to return num itself. And at the very end we have a console log statement. So first of all, we'll straight away just open our Visual Studio Code, or you can use any other coding compiler or JavaScript compiler or anything. So we'll just control N for a new file. New file is opened, so we'll control S to save it, and we'll save it as new file new file 1.js. You can save it as anything you want to. To be honest, I have already once written it, so we'll just simply paste it, so it will be kind of easier for me. So here let me just compare it. Is it entirely the same thing? Yeah, it's entirely the same thing. So Control Shift D to run it, and when we run it, I have Node.js as a, you can say, compiler, and we run it, and the output is this. The output is f num. Basically the entire anonymous function, this anonymous function is returned back. Like it is expected, that as JavaScript uses the lexical context, then we should have got an output as simply 10, parent 10, that it should simply return 10. Since num is equals to n and n is 10 here, so simply it should return 10. But it doesn't work like that. I'll tell you what happens basically. So like first of all, let's try to become a little bit a trial and error kind of a thing. So we'll just simply comment these three parts, and we'll just try to run it. So we'll just try to run it. So we still get undefined because we don't return any value. So we'll simply write return keyword here, and we'll return simply num, the num value, and we'll just again try to run it, and you see we get output 10. So 10 is the output. You can see 10 is the output, 10 is the output. So basically it's working. So there is no error in the flow of the variable. Okay, what is happening? Why is the code showing an error? Okay, there must be something else that is actually causing it. So the thing is, this entire function returns two things. The first thing it returns is undefined, and the second thing it returns is the very anonymous, or say the very inner function. I told you there are two functions, the outer function and inner function. The inner function is returned. Okay, so the inner function is returned. So when you console log this entire the main function, the parent function, the inner function is returned. Okay, so we'll again run it to show you clearly what do I mean. Look, this is the inner function being returned back. So there are two ways to fix it. The two ways to fix it is this one. Simply you go do this one and run it, so you get 10 as an output. So basically what is happening here till this point, when you basically console.log parent this, so this code is invoked. Once the code is invoked, what is the output? We saw the output initially, it was the inner function itself. Now the inner function, it's returned as a string, as a text. Now that inner function is again invoked with the value 10, so we get our output 10. So instead of this, you'll put 12 here, so we'll get 12 as an output. You see, the value of num is replaced by 12, and when it is not returned here, this function is invoked without without any return value. You might be asking, like, initially you said there are two return values, you said undefined, and suddenly you said that inner function is being called, so it should return undefined and return, but a function can only return one return value. You must have read it somewhere, at least in your books or somewhere. So it just returns the inner function itself. So how to invoke it again, how to invoke the inner function? We just again put two brackets there, two parentheses there. So when we do two parentheses there, so our inner function is invoked. So I have nothing inside it right now, so it should give undefined as an output. Let's try undefined as an output we get. So if you put anything here, you put 0, it will give 0 output. So the main point is here that it's not about lexical context here. So JavaScript is, the lexical context of this code is working. There's no problem in that. The only thing is that when you invoke this very function with any value, this is what is returned. The anonymous function is returned. Okay. Now in order to invoke that, because we want it to work, right? So we need to invoke it, right? So we invoke it like this. We again use parentheses to again invoke it with a certain value. Whatever value you put in here, let's say you put in x, so x will be returned. Hopefully, I think let's use it as a text x. So again return. Okay, let's check it out. So x is returned. Hopefully you understood it, that it returns only, you can show me, bro. So it only basically returns an anonymous function. You need to invoke it again. When you invoke it again with certain value, you get your desired output. I know it's kind of hectic, you need to go through it again, or you might again want to go through the very Twitter post. So I'll attach that in the comment section. If you feel again confused, I'll make a new and a fresh video with a bit more simplified way, but hopefully I hopefully think that you understood it. That's all. Take care.